Before the fame, before the headlines, before the world knew his name, there was a young man born into revolution, raised to speak even when the world refused to listen, even if it meant becoming a target. And when he found his voice, he didn't just make music, he made the world feel everything. But fame comes with a price, and power creates enemies. Lines were drawn, and hip-hop became a battlefield, a voice that shook the world and left behind questions that still don't have answers. Knightphase presents Tupac Shakur, the voice of a generation. Before Tupac became one of the most powerful voices in the world, he was being shaped by something much bigger than music. He wasn't born into fame, he was born into revolution. Tupac Amaru Shakur was born on June 16, 1971, into a world already in conflict. His mother, Afeni Shakur, was an active member of the Black Panther Party, a movement built on resistance, survival, and speaking truth to power. Before Tupac could even walk, he was surrounded by struggle, by ideas, by history in the making. But growing up in that world changes you. It didn't harden him the way people might expect. It made him aware. He was different. Tupac wasn't just another kid trying to survive. He was thoughtful, emotional, observant. He wrote poetry, spoke with intention, and saw things others ignored. He didn't just want to be heard, he wanted to be understood. There was depth to him, a sensitivity that would later become his greatest strength. As he got older, that expression found a home at the Baltimore School for the Arts. Tupac began to refine his craft, acting, writing, performing. This wasn't just talent, this was training for something bigger than anyone around him could see. But even then, there were signs of something more. A voice that couldn't be contained, a presence that demanded to be felt, that was still forming. His first real step into music came with Digital Underground, a small role at first, but a glimpse into the world he was stepping into. It wasn't fame, not yet, but it was the beginning of something, because as Tupac's voice grew louder, so did the world around him. And soon, the world that raised him would collide with the man he was becoming. Before Tupac took over the world, he was just another voice trying to be heard. After leaving Baltimore, Tupac's journey didn't get easier. It got real. He moved through different cities facing instability, struggle, and the kind of pressure that forces you to grow up fast. But no matter where life took him, he kept creating. Music became more than expression, it became survival. His first real break came with Digital Underground. At first just a dancer, a background presence, the kind of role most people never escape. But even then, there was something about him, a presence that couldn't stay in the background for long, and it didn't. In 1991, Tupac released his first album, Tupacalypse Now, and just like that, people started listening. His music wasn't just entertainment, it was raw, unfiltered, and real. He spoke about poverty, police brutality, pain, things most artists avoided. Some saw him as a voice, others saw him as a problem. But Tupac didn't care about being accepted because being real mattered more than being liked. And the more he spoke, the louder the world responded. Music wasn't the only place he stood out. Tupac stepped into acting and proved he was more than just a rapper. In films like Juice and Poetic Justice, he didn't just play roles, he became them. Now he wasn't just rising in music, he was becoming a presence everywhere. But with that attention came something else. Pressure, expectations, and a spotlight that never turned off. Because as Tupac continued to rise, the world wasn't just watching anymore, it was reacting. And soon, the voice he used to speak for the people would place him at the center of something he couldn't control. As Tupac's voice got louder, so did the people who wanted to silence him. Everything was changing. The fame, the pressure, the attention. It wasn't just building him up anymore. It was closing in. In 1994, everything took a turn. Tupac was shot multiple times inside a New York recording studio, a moment that would change everything. But what hurt more than the bullets was what came after. Doubt, betrayal, and a feeling that the people around him couldn't be trusted. Tupac believed he had been set up, and in his mind there was only one direction to look: the East Coast. What started as tension quickly became something else, a war that would change hip-hop forever. Lines were drawn, sides were chosen, and hip-hop was no longer just music, it was personal. At the center of it all was Tupac. His anger became louder, his music became sharper, more aggressive, more direct, more dangerous, and the world was watching it unfold in real time. When Tupac joined Death Row Records, everything intensified. Now, he wasn't just being heard, he was being amplified. The image, the power, the influence, it all grew overnight. But so did the conflict. This wasn't just about music anymore. It was about loyalty, respect, and survival. Because as the war between East and West escalated, there was no turning back. And Tupac was right in the middle of it. And soon, fame and danger would become the same thing. By 1996, Tupac Shakur was at the height of everything. The fame, the influence, the attention, it was bigger than ever. But so was the tension. The war between East and West was no longer just words, it was real. On September 7th, 1996, in Las Vegas, Nevada, everything changed. After attending a Mike Tyson fight, Tupac was riding in a car with Suge Knight. When shots rang out, the moment came without warning. Tupac was hit multiple times, and for days the world waited, hoping, watching, praying. But on September 13th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was pronounced dead. He was only 25 years old. And just like that, one of the most powerful voices in the world was silenced. But his story didn't end there, because he was more than what the headlines made him. He was a voice for people who felt unheard, a reflection of pain, of struggle, of truth. He said what people felt but couldn't say, and even after his death, that voice never faded, his words lived on, his message carried forward, his impact only grew stronger, because Tupac didn't just leave behind music. He left behind meaning, and decades later, his voice is still heard not just as an artist, but as a symbol of something real, of something powerful, of something the world will never forget. But Tupac's story was only part of something bigger, because across the country, another voice was rising from the other side of the war, and soon the world would lose him too.